I'm from Boston, and so it had always been a dream of mine to run the Boston Marathon. My dad did it when he was a resident. No, sorry, he was an intern. And it was a really great experience for him, and I grew up going to see it every day. It's a holiday here. Like, everyone gets school off except for Harvard, so I had to skip class when I ran the marathon. So that I had always wanted to do it, and then in 2013, the Boston Marathon bombings happened, and my friend Gillian was injured, and that was it came at a really difficult time for me in high school, and I had a difficult time just grappling with what happened, and then seeing Gillian and her family and what they've done since such a horrible day has been an inspiration to me. They turned what was just a really shitty day in Boston into something really special with the Stepping Strong Fund. So as soon as that got started, I knew it's something I wanted to be involved in, and I could kind of combine both my interest in running the marathon and my interest in supporting Gillian and her family and trauma victims. So that's why I ran. I did it in college. Kind of a couple reasons. I go to school in Boston, so it was easy to do while still in school. There's the flexibility of scheduling. Training for a marathon isn't easy. My freshman fall, I was injured playing soccer, and I needed knee surgery. So I was starting from the bottom, literally. When I started thinking about running the marathon, I was probably about 6 months out of surgery, and I was just starting to really exercise again. I was just starting to run again, and it was the summertime before entering my sophomore year, and I had to go out and see if I could even run a mile, which literally at that point I couldn't, because I hadn't run in 8 months, whatever it was. And so then it became a challenge that I took on for myself to come post-surgery into running this marathon, which meant so much to me. So that's kind of why the timing just worked for me to do it my sophomore year. It was a great experience. It was the hardest thing I've done to date. I don't know if I'd ever do it again. Maybe I will, but not for a little bit. Training was difficult just because, I thought of it's like another class, but more because for me, I've never been much of a runner. I've always been an athlete, but I hated running. So it was the fact that I had to get up every day and go for a run, or, it ended up being 4 times a week, 5 times a week, whatever was in my training plan. So that was really difficult to get myself to do, and especially to do alone. I was running with my cousin, who was still in college at the time, but she went to school in St. Louis. So we were using each other to train, but it wasn't the same as running with people here, so that was really difficult. It kind of took over my life in that I literally scheduled everything around when I could run, especially socially. When I wasn't in class, I was thinking about when my next run would be, and what I had to do to prepare my body for it, because I'm not an athlete. I couldn't just wake up on Marathon Monday and run a marathon. That's not my body, and I had to prepare for it. So it took a lot in that regard. Fundraising is not the easiest thing to do, and we set a goal of, so my cousin and I fundraised together. We set a goal of $15,413 to mark the day that the bombings happened, which was for 15/13. So kind of a little confusing, but $15,000 is a lot of money to raise, and that was really difficult. So there was also that added stress of, how was I going to get to my goal, and what could I be doing to get there, faster, or just doing a better job for the charity itself, because that was my goal. That's what I had to raise, but obviously I would have wanted to raise more, and we did end up surpassing our goal. So that was difficult too. So the actual marathon day was warmer than it had been when we were training, and I had prepared my body physically in the sense that I had trained, but I had not prepared my body for the weather in the days leading up to it, which included like proper hydration and proper eating. So the entire time I was nauseous and wanted to throw up, and so I had to actually I stopped at mile 11 and went into the med tent, and if it hadn't been for my cousin running with me, I probably would have pulled out right there, because I was really sick, TMI, but I like literally had to stop and dry heave on the side 6 times over the 26 miles. It did not feel good. Running that marathon did not feel good. Finishing that marathon felt great. I mean, there's no feeling like it, especially from all the times that I've watched the marathon, and after what happened, like, I mean, it's still something like I get very emotional talking about, but turning up on the last turn and like seeing the finish line, like I'm so glad that it was over, but it just, yeah, it was amazing, and like definitely I think the greatest accomplishment that I have made so far in my life.